What's going on, all you bone-in, pizza-eating motherfuckers? We're back. We got a big Champions League and some Europa League review for you.
Alright, running up the screen, the Tuesday scores for the Champions League. You've seen them all. We got some surprising games, some victories from some, like Bruges beating Atletico 2-0. That's pretty huge for them.
It's super surprising.
Napoli won 6-1 against Ajax. That's the biggest Champions League defeat I think Ajax has ever had. That's insane. Tottenham 0-0. We see Bayern absolutely smash whoever they fucking played.
You're expecting that, you know. I mean, really the only surprise for me on Tuesday was to see Inter beat Barcelona 1-0.
Yeah, you could say it's a surprise based on Inter's form and everything
And Barcelona's form. They've been pretty good.
Yeah.
They're top of La Liga right now. Obviously, we're only, less than 10 weeks in. But
Xavi's not doing so hot in the Champions League, though.
He's really not.
Their La Liga record's insane. I think they've won, like, the last 18 or something like that. But in the Champions League, I think he's, like, 0-3 or something.
Not doing too great. They're third in the group right now. I mean, we may be seeing them in Europa League, so that could be a future matchup, or we'll see if they can keep it going. But 1-0 to Inter, good on them.
Liverpool, though, did get the win, unfortunately for us. We always root against Liverpool.
2-0 over Rangers.
A Trent Alexander-Arnold free kick.
As if that means anything.
And a Mohamed Salah penalty. I thought, well, if we gotta give credit where credit's due.
Yes, Trent has been getting a ton of shit, he stepped up and
buried
scored.
it. Put it away. Really good free kick. That's what that's his bread and butter, set pieces.
Exactly. That's his bread and butter. But the things that he was getting criticized for aren't offensively. They're defensively, and that didn't do anything except boost his confidence, which always scoring a goal, that definitely will, especially in the Champions League game.
It's definitely fair to say that because of his, maybe not because of his lack of defensive ability, but because he's been lacking on defense, and I feel like he's probably been hearing the critics and getting some stick from pundits, this and that, and us, because he's obviously watching us.
Right, we know you are.
But for that being going on, I think it's also affected his attacking game. He hasn't been as prolific. He hasn't been as prolific in the final third. But you go up, take a free kick, and you make it like that. I mean, it can only boost your confidence. You'll probably start playing better overall just from one goal, I think. I think the whole Liverpool unit have been lacking a little bit this year, you know what I'm saying, compared to their standards that we're used to these past few years, with Klopp especially. But, steps up, takes a free kick, Salah, penalty, 2-0 for them.
Still hope they get knocked out.
Yeah.
On to Wednesday. Here are all the games.
Yeah.
Couple of shocks, couple of good results for some teams, couple of really poor results for others. I mean, we saw Celtic lose to Leipzig. Joe Hart with an absolute shocker there at the end.
That's why Joe Hart is at Celtic now, is because, it's just his career's gone down a bit. But gotta love Joe Hart. Always love Joe Hart.
As a City fan, you can. As a United fan, I'll always dislike him. But then we saw Chelsea just, absolutely dominate AC Milan, which to me is a surprise, because AC Milan have been one of the best teams in Italy for the last 18 months. It's surprising.
I was disappointed, especially because Des got the start. And then they lose 3-0 to Chelsea.
Just reflects poorly on him.
Yeah, it's kind of an L.
Not that it's his fault or it was solely on him.
I don't know about what his rating was at the end of the game or whatever, but I think he did halfway decent, you know what I mean? Obviously didn't stand out or do anything important for him.
Yeah.
But 3-0 to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea were on it. Aubameyang scores, I think, his first goal for Chelsea.
First Chelsea goal, yeah.
First goal for Chelsea. There you go. And Fofana scored his first goal for Chelsea
scores
as well.
His first goal. Graham Potter's got that team looking pretty good.
For 2-3 games, maybe.
Right, yeah, so far.
But, you know what I'm saying, good for him, I guess.
And then we saw a really good game. Benfica PSG drew 1-1.
Insane defending by Benfica.
Incredible effort there from that team. I mean, when you go into a game against the probably second best team in the world right now, behind City and PSG, you're expected to lose that game no matter how good you are in your own league or in your own competition. But they really held their own. They showed that they are a really class quality team.
They are, definitely. I mean, just because you're in the Portuguese league doesn't really mean anything. But you go into the Champions League, regardless of what league you play in, everybody knows the Champions League, it's a whole different stage.
It's a different beast.
And you go there, they're at home, I believe. They're in Portugal.
Yeah, in Portugal.
Playing against PSG. PSG coming up on them all as much as they can when you got that attacking force. Why wouldn't you? But they held it down for real. Kind of like how Inter did Barcelona the day before.
Yeah.
They got their goal, settled in, defended well, really, really well with their fucking heart. You know what I mean? So, class defending, good game from Benfica.
Really the big difference for those two teams in Barcelona and PSG is Messi.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason that PSG got that 1-1 draw was because of Messi. And I'm not saying that Barcelona would have won or gotten a 1-1 draw if Messi was on the pitch for them, but it sure boosts their chances.
Yeah. And then we seen Sevilla and Dortmund. Man, Sevilla did not look good.
No.
And Dortmund, bruh, Dortmund are not the hottest team right now either. But Dortmund putting up a 4-1 against Sevilla. Rain is out, so, you know what I'm saying? Not going to dive too much into it. But they did get the 4-1 win.
Sevilla then fires their coach.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel bad for them because they're such a historic team in Spain, but at the same time, Champions League, like we've said, is cutthroat. You're going to have some results like this throughout the year. And Dortmund are just such a streaky team. You know, they're up and down, and they caught them on and up, so sucks for them.
I haven't looked at the table yet, though, or the league standings, but Sevilla, their competition is the Europa League, so if they do get that third spot, they'll be knocking down to third, which obviously everybody would rather be in the Champions League. But for Sevilla, in their case, if they got out of the Europa League, I'm putting my money on Sevilla. I'll tell you what.
They've got a good shot
at
winning, saying? Especially if they drop down from the Champions League. I mean, you expect them to go through in this group, but at the same time, if they do drop down, they're going to be trouble for somebody in the Europa League.
3-1 to Juventus, though. They smacked up on some shitty-ass team. McKinney got the start, played the full 90, so that's what we like to see. Real Madrid getting a victory.
Shakhtar didn't play that great, but did get a goal to make it somewhat of a competition. But
Vinny Jr., insane.
Real Madrid just too good for him.
Yeah, that whole team is just insane. Manchester City, though, 5-0 over Copenhagen. It was expected.
The Erling Haaland show again.
I'm going to be honest with you. First half, Haaland from the get-go, fucking right-footed, smashing him in the back of the net. Man, love that guy. Anyway, we keep going. He scores again. He's got 2 goals. I can't remember if we had 2 or 3 goals in the first half. It's blank in my mind. It doesn't matter, though.
There were too many of them.
It doesn't matter. Haaland with 2, gets subbed off at halftime for Cole Palmer, which I fucking love. That Pep realized, hey, we're up a few goals in the first half against Copenhagen, who's not going to come back and win. Put on some players. We've got to see some youngsters play, like Rico Lewis. That makes me so happy to see Pep giving those young guys a chance. Whether they take it or not and do something with it is a completely different conversation. But seeing that our manager is willing to give them those minutes, and yeah, it's Copenhagen, we were going to fucking batter them. But there's so much depth in that City team that you'd think, where would they even get the chance to play? You know what I'm saying? An 18, 19-year-old kid. Where do they even get the chance? But Pep Guardiola is letting them play. Cole Palmer we've seen a few more times than Rico Lewis, but still love to see it. It's just the young guys. The fact that he's giving the young guys the chance. Alvarez scores another goal for City. Mahrez scores a pen for us. It was just a complete performance, dominant from beginning to end. You know what I'm saying? It was really expected. I'm going to be honest. The highlight of it, though, for me, is that it was 5-0. We kept a clean sheet. We're pretty much secured to go on to get first place in our group. So that means for these next few games, hopefully, I think we need to win one more game to for sure qualify, and I think that's when Pep will start those youngsters, even in the Champions League.
it's easy to start those youngsters when you say, okay, I'm going to start 3 young players, or I'm going to bring on 3 young players at halftime.
Yeah.
When you have 8 other fucking world-class players
who
around
are almost in the prime of their career, too.
They're going to be absolutely set up in the best way possible. And that's what you want to see as a team. You want to see them be put in positions to succeed, because you don't want to throw them on when you're looking for a goal at 1-0 down against, Juventus, if you're City or whoever. You don't want to see them pushed into those situations where they're potentially going to struggle, and then maybe they don't get another spot. But when you're, 3-0 up and you say, okay, I'm going to bring on this 19-year-old who is set up to do so well because he's got Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri in midfield, all these world-class players around them, just to accelerate their development and put them in the best positions that they possibly can be in.
I absolutely love it. We get the 5-0 over Copenhagen. You saw your Champions League results. 5-0. We'll fucking take it. Okay, Europa League now. We got through Champions League. This is Europa League. We're going to give you a little rundown. Then we'll get to
competition.
Then we'll get to United. Okay. Arsenal 3-1 or 3-0 as expected. Some shitty ass team. Sociedad, my Real Sociedad, the boys. Up Real Sociedad. Viva Real Sociedad. 2-0 win. Man, they 2-0. Noah Orizabal, fucking still take it. Who else did we have? We saw Gakpo leading PSV to a 5-1 over some shitty ass team, but it's still, PSV's not like the greatest team in the world. Gakpo, one for the future for sure. He had 2 goals. He's the captain.
Captain of that team.
He's insane. I think he's got so much potential. He's gonna go far. I can't wait to see what team he moves to. He's been linked with United.
I'm excited to see him in the World Cup because I think he'll get caught up into that squad and really be a focal point. Or
with Depay, I think they'll be.
Yeah, I think they'll play together really well. They'll have some good link up play, but also Gakpo's just really one of those up and coming young strikers that. You like to see him do well.
Yeah.
You never want to see these young players struggling, but it is nice to see Gakpo doing well, because if he is continually linked to United, it just means that he's doing even better. And if we get him in January or next summer, whenever, it's a class signing if he continues to do well.
Trevor did mention Pifok there. Pifok got the 74 minutes against some bum-ass team. Malmo. They beat Malmo 1-0. We need to see him on the USA World Cup squad. But regardless.
The biggest game of the week, in everyone's opinion, and especially mine, United win 3-2 over Ammonia.
They go down 1-0 at first.
Okay,
let's start that in there. Let's start from the beginning.
Let's start from the beginning.
As we always do.
Let's start from the beginning when the dinosaurs were
here. That's how we go about these games. Is starting from the beginning. We have to start from minute 1 and kind of
from minute 1 until let's say 19 or so.
We saw Ten Hag sitting on the bench like this,
pissed off because his team was not playing to the belief and standards that he holds them to.
Yeah.
And in that first half, man, they struggled. It's the same thing as City, but not to the extent, because Ammonia is not anywhere near the quality. So the first half, we struggled. It was a completely docile response from these players. I mean, they didn't seem like they changed their attitudes or anything whatsoever. I mean, it was really tough to watch that first 45 because they just didn't put in the heart and the belief that I know that they all have. But then they get into the dressing room, Ten Hag motherfucks a couple people, makes sure that everyone knows that this is it. I mean, if we don't win this game, we may as well have been Arsenal from 2 years ago.
He went in that dressing room and said, if y'all don't stop fucking around, I'm going to buy Gakpo right now.
Exactly. I'll call him up. I'll ring him up. He probably had him on the phone and said, hey, you're coming in January, motherfucker. I need you.
Yeah.
But we saw in the second half, he brings on Rashford. Immediately, Rashford has an impact. Within 5 minutes, Rashford scores. Really gets us back into the game. 1-1 at that point. And then Tony Marshall. Marshall FC, we are back in full swing, baby.
Don't say
He's
that.
back. He is averaging a goal every 26 minutes in all competitions. That's better than Holland.
No, it's not.
That's better than Foden.
It's not.
It's better than everybody. Fuck everybody.
If you want to
Marshall
talk about minutes per
FC
goal,
is
I think
back.
Holland's got like 1 per 17.
No.
Yeah, that's facts.
Not
I'm
in
so
all
dead
competitions.
ass.
No. Okay, look. 1 goal every 26 or so minutes. He's doing well. He's back into the squad. Hopefully he can stay fully fit. Really takes us to 2-1. It feels like we've got this game locked up. And then we see Ronaldo miss probably 3 really, really good chances to kind of put the game to bed. But then, towards the very end, slices in a cross that was a shot. But we'll call it a cross. Give him the assist. He gets the assist to Rashford. 3-1. Game looks pretty much sewn up. And then these fuckers lose their heads. Like that. They score within 2 minutes. The motherfucker's running past them. I mean, some no-name dude who, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, and I'm never going to know it. But you fucking scored on us, and you got that over on us. But
hey,
we were able to get to win.
We don't even know what team they were playing against.
That's
how ass they were.
In Cyprus. I mean, it's...
come on, man.
I will say, that stadium, and every stadium we've played in outside of Old Trafford this year in the Europa League has been bumping. Those fans are constantly singing. They are, even when they were 3-1 down, they were singing their hearts out. So credit to them, credit to the fans, the United fans, for going and watching that and cheering our guys on. We did well, got the 3-2 win, sewed it up towards the end, and got to keep going. I mean, this is just another hurdle and another step in the right direction, but we're not on the train just yet. We aren't even to the fucking train tracks yet. I mean, we haven't even bought our tickets
to the station.
We've got a good train conductor in Ten Hag, but we just got to let him go. His system isn't fully implanted yet, but that'll come with time. Hopefully by the time the group stage is over, we're really in a full swing in the Europa League, and we can take over that competition, because top 4 is going to be tough. Europa League might be even tougher with some of the teams and the Champions League teams coming down, but we'll see. We'll let you guys know everything.
Ronaldo's going to leave in January. All right, that's it. We saw the games. We showed you Champions League review, Europa League review, meme. You know what I'm saying? Check it out.
Don't be offended.
We'll be back at some point. Nice.